By the time this video goes up, it should be April 1st, and if you're not new around here, you'll know what that means. Every April 1st, I have something for Emerald Squad that I show off. I do not have a script or even a list of notes to go down. I am just fully winging this. Hopefully my editing makes it not mediocre. So the news announcement for last year was just on the Emerald Squad Twitter that there wasn't going to be an Emerald Squad Twitter anymore because I'm not on Twitter anymore. So what have I been working on? I was on hiatus on this game for about a year, and a few months ago I started picking it up again. First, let's go down the roadmap of things for this game. 2 years ago now, I promised that I would make a prequel game starring Harmony. Is that canceled? No. The reason this game is taking so long, I still have to do the groundwork for that smaller game. I'm still going to do it, but it's still going to take quite a while. So what's the roadmap going to look like? Well, there's going to be one more demo for Emerald Squad. It's going to feature the same stages as the previous ones, but a lot more content. It's going to have cutscenes and generally feel like a more complete experience. And I'll talk about that more when I talk about new features that I'm going to be adding or already have added. Then I'm going to be moving focus to this Harmony game, because once that demo comes out, I should have all the groundwork that I need to make a full game by just adding the stage content, which would be the last thing left to do. And somewhere in there is going to be the next Halloween demo, because another tradition that I have is every Halloween releasing an exclusive Halloween themed demo with whatever features that I have been working on at the time. Next Halloween, I'm going to make another Halloween demo. I'm going to try and start that very early on in August, so there's absolutely no crunch with it. That is definitely going to come out before the Harmony game. It's probably going to come out before the next demo. The character named Zero. Yeah, he plays pretty similar to a Mega Man character with the same name. And at the time, I was not a Mega Man fan. And now I am, and I have to constantly go, oh wow, he's really similar to this guy who has the same name, huh? But no, it was a coincidence. So what about him? Why am I talking about Zero? Why is he back? Well, he is going to be a second character for the Harmony game, because ultimately I did feel that I can't make an Emerald Squad game without the main, what I feel is the main appeal of this game, that there are a lot of different characters. But for a game about Harmony, I wanted to focus on the unique moveset that she has and her skills and make stages designed around only her. So what was I to do? Well, Zero was the original concept for her that eventually she replaced. So within that game, you have Harmony, but you also have Zero, who plays very similar to her, essentially a second version of her with enough differences that they don't feel the same, but they have the same general options available to them. It's just that they're better at different things. And within the story, Zero was basically Harmony's mentor. This is before she became the leader of the Emerald Squad, before there was an Emerald Squad. I thought, oh, it would be cute, because Zero was the original character that I had in the role of leader of the Emerald Squad, and Harmony basically ended up filling that role instead. And if you want to play around with him right now, he is in that Halloween demo. It's still available. I will link it in the description. So you're probably wondering, will he be in the full game? And the answer is yes, but not as part of the story. You have all definitely noticed that the entire time there has been a 6th unfilled slot on the character select menu. And why is that? Well, from the start, I had always wanted this game to have extra unlockable characters. In the full game, Zero was going to be one of them. You're going to be able to, in the post-game, explore the stages as him, or on repeat playthroughs. So with that said, after the Harmony game, I will be full steam ahead on completing Emerald Squad, fully. What features do I need to add? What features have I been working on in the long time of not speaking? First of all, the cutscenes. There was one cutscene that's been shown off prior, and that's been done for a long time, but it took 4 days to make that little cutscene. I have made another cutscene, and I will probably insert it somewhere around here. But I've also just plainly gotten significantly better at making cutscenes, and it should go fairly smoothly making the rest of them. What else have I added? A menu. That's right. And now you have all sorts of settings like volume control, turning on color, and there's going to be an option to use a simplified tile set because it was a thing that people mentioned that there was a bit of eye strain on some of the more complicated tile sets when the game was in motion. And I agree, I have this issue myself, and I thought when it was me, I was like, yeah, I can ignore it. But when other people have the issue, it is a problem. So what else? This is a feature that I have wanted to add from the start, from the very beginnings. I knew I wanted to have these little collectibles you could find in the stages. And that is why the stages are designed so expansive with so many nooks and crannies. There was always going to be things to find other than just the boosting potions. That was always the intent. So there are two types of collectibles you could find. One are record books, which just contain little lore blurbs. If you want to get a little bit more out of the story, context that isn't super necessary to understand it, but makes the world a bit richer. These you can collect and read, and they're gonna end up on a wiki somewhere in 5 years, probably. And the second is record discs, which contain the game's OST, and it is not included in the footage that you're probably looking at because this is a very unfinished build and doesn't have everything implemented that I would like. But it's going to include commentary from the composer on the individual tracks, and every single song in the game is going to be included in this record player with a name for it. Previously, they've only ever been officially referred to by what zone they are or what boss they are for, but we are giving them all unique names. So next up, a really big change, 2-act zones. It was a concern that with the increased pace that I gave the game, in the previous update I mentioned, I made everyone fast. And you're definitely seeing in the footage how much faster everyone is. But I also didn't want to add more zones. I know exactly what the story is going to be. It's one of the earliest things that was decided for the game. I have a script for all the cutscenes. I think it would hurt the game to try and fit more stages in there because each stage needs its own story content associated with it. So what did I do? Well, they'd always been called zones. That is always because I have felt they have a lot in common with the way Sonic stages are designed as opposed to other video games. Non-linear, they're expansive, they have a lot of verticality to them. So what is the logical next step? To give them multiple acts, Act 1 and Act 2. And the second act will always have some unique theming to it to set it apart. It might not look entirely different, but there's always going to be a little something to set it apart. So what this means, double the content, double the stages to explore, double the things to find. Now another thing, difficulty. I've definitely talked about it on the social media accounts before. It was in the Halloween demo, but I don't know if it had ever been properly acknowledged, so I'm going to acknowledge it here. There are difficulty options for this game now. There are 3 difficulties and technically 4. Actually 3, technically 4. And what do I mean by that? There's going to be a post-game mode that is effectively a difficulty. It takes all the traits of hard mode, but it also remixes the stage layouts. So there is your roadmap. The final demo with all of the cutscenes for the first 3 stages, 2 acts per stage, unlockable collectibles, a full menu with various settings. Then, at some point, another Halloween demo with even more content than the previous one. After that, Harmony's game, which will be around the same content as the final demo of this game. And lastly, once that is out, I will immediately go full steam ahead on working on the full game. And I can't say how long that will take, but once the final demo is out, you can know that it will not be as long as of a wait as it has been prior, because I have been having to work on all of these legwork things to make the game functional and feel complete, and that has been the hardest part of making this game. The actual content, the stages, and the boss fights, they could have been done by now, but I need to do all of this legwork stuff first. So once the last demo is out, that's when you know it's go time for me. It won't be long after that, and I'm eternally thankful to all the people who have been following this project for so long, and I promise you, I am doing everything I can to make an experience that you can feel is worth your time. So with all that said, thank you so much for giving me your time. Thank you so much for giving me your support. And it is my earnest hope that I'll be able to more consistently give updates on what I'm doing for this game. Not necessarily here, but I will link both my social and the official Emerald Squad social in the description of this video. And I will also try to be more forthcoming on if I have to take a hiatus from development. Because sometimes things do happen and I cannot devote the time I would like to working on this game. But with all that said, thank you very much, and stay safe. Good day, good afternoon, or good night. I don't know when I'm releasing this video. I am recording it the previous day. It's not even actually April Fool's for me. I've been lying to you this whole time.